Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. And so, what I wanted to talk to you guys about real quick this evening, for a live, it's a quick live. We're going to be talking about Jeepers Creepers coming 2021. So, the not technically the fourth installment. So, I do have to warn people, there's no fourth installment. So, go figure. Go figure. As the title states, it is called Jeepers Creepers Reborn. So before we get into that, first off, I want to give shout out to the members of the channel. Thank you guys so much for taking a chance on this guy, becoming a member. Really, really appreciate that. A lot of the content that I'm going to be doing is actually going to take me out of favor of being monetized safe. And so hopefully some of you guys in the future may want to consider supporting the channel simply just by going there. There's a PayPal link, paypal.me/Aloha Android. I know that's like the name of the old channel, but hey, it is that's probably the best way to support the channel once YouTube catches on to what I'm doing and they're like, hey, we're not going to monetize this guy anymore. Because you know what? I mean, my kids were enjoying the fruits of the labor of doing these live streams. That's where the money went to. So anyhow, yeah, if you guys want to. But the biggest way you guys can support the channel is simply just by smashing the like button so that way it circulates. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so and hitting the bell icon, which will turn on notifications. You click the bell icon, you select all, and you'll get all notifications when I go live, if I upload a video, post a story, or just, post something in the community tab. Anyways, yes, so let's kind of get into it. Let me drop the link so people can check it out afterwards. Here we go. I'll put that in the chat and we'll kind of go into this now. Most of you guys who's known me for a long time knows I'm a huge fan of scary movies. Jeepers Creepers 3 wasn't the best, but those people who wanted to boycott it because of the director Victor Salva and his past, I thought that was kind of like, retarded. Hate the guy for what he's done, but don't punish a movie, especially, I mean, there are people who enjoy the movie, but, obviously despise what the director has done in his past. I want to put that out there so people kind of understand. I don't feel like that we have to just destroy an entire series that people are big fans of just because of one idiot, so just kind of putting that out there. Anyways, as you guys can see, this is from the website sci-fi.com, where we are basically going to be looking at the details for Jeepers Creepers Reborn is what it's called. At least some sites are calling it that. So this article, I'll read you what the article says, and then we'll just kind of talk about it. So keep a close eye on your body parts because the Jeepers Creepers series officially returns this year with a fourth installment, Reborn. Variety has confirmed that Screen Media, which released the previous installment in 2017, has acquired global distribution rights to the film, which is eyeing a fall 2021 debut. Sounding like more of a reboot than a straight-up continuation, Reborn will be the first Jeepers Creepers movie not to be helmed by the franchise controversial creator, Victor Salva, who was convicted of that in 1988. So anyways, Timo Voronsola, Iron Sky, takes over the directorial reins for this new tale of terror, which unfolds in Louisiana at the Horror Hound Festival, at a first-of-its-kind event that attracts hundreds of geeks, freaks, and diehard horror fans from far and wide, reads the official synopsis provided by Variety. The plot centers around Chase and his girlfriend, Lane, who reluctantly agrees to attend the festival with him. Her ambivalence, sorry if I massacred that word, is justified when she starts having strange premonitions about the creeper, and eons-old being that awakens every 23 years, a la Stephen King's Pennywise, to steal human organs in order to sustain its own immortality. As the festival arrives and blood-soaked entertainment builds to a frenzy, Lane believes that something unearthly has been summoned and that she is at the center of it, continues the summary. Jeepers Creepers Reborn is currently in post-production after principal photography took place in Jackson, Louisiana between December and January. As excited as we are, we know that fans will be even more thrilled and chilled to return to the world of the Creeper, now with a much scarier vision from director Timo Voronsola, who is the perfect fit to restart this franchise. Screen Media, Willy's Wonderland said in a statement at Varieties. So that, yeah, pretty much gives us a little synopsis. So, just generally speaking, Boss 45, what up? Just generally speaking, so Jeepers Creepers is not getting a fourth installment. So for all those who watch Jeepers Creepers 3, which technically should be Jeepers Creepers 1.5, or yeah, because it, the way, if anyone doesn't know the order to watch Jeepers Creepers, it's 1, 3, and then 2, which kind of also doesn't make sense either, because in 1, he didn't have that red shirt, the Creeper, if you guys know what I'm talking about. He didn't have that red shirt. And in 2, he didn't have that red shirt, but in 3, he did. But 3 takes place in between 1 and 2. As we saw at the end of part 3, it kind of like leaps forward in time 23 years later as, what's her name? Was it Derry's sister's name? I forgot her name. But anyways, she puts out a call. Adjuvant Canada's. I'm not gonna stay on live, bro. Maybe Sunday I'll probably like recap this, dude. Like definitely, I'm not gonna be on long, man. But yeah, definitely, I'll send you a tweet Sunday if you want to join me then, and then we can kind of really go over this. But yeah, it's turning out. We're not gonna know. Well, no, I don't want to say we're not going to know the Creeper's origins. We're just not going to know exactly how the first 3 movies, where they were going to go with it. That's the problem. We don't know where they were going to go with it. Because this one, Jeepers Creepers Reborn, is not going to be like an installment after, 1, 3, and 2. It's not going to continue on after Jack pretty much like harpooned the Creeper and then has it, pinned up in his barn with his homemade harpoon gun aimed at it, waiting for it to awaken again. Like, yeah, that's just not happening. Now we're getting an entirely different thing, something completely different. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun and say that we're not getting that, because who knows? They might pay homage to the original 3 movies from Victor Salva, and maybe like do like some sort of quick thing, like the Creeper awakened and killed Jack Jr. and Jack and took off from their barn free, and then moves on over to Louisiana, where Chase and Lane are heading to the horror festival. It could build up to something like that. Sometimes they do that, right? Movies tend to they tend to pay homage to like the predecessor, no, not predecessor. Yeah, they pay homage back to the originals, basically. They tend to do that, right? Even when you look at like Toho Films with the rights to Godzilla, and when they made Godzilla not King of the Monsters, but Godzilla Final Wars, they still kind of they didn't pay homage, but they acknowledged America's Godzilla, because I don't know if you guys remember Godzilla 2000, where it was like an iguana that like morphed because of nuclear radiation, and terrorized New York and laid eggs, and for those who didn't know, Godzilla 2000 was actually supposed to get a part 2, but because it did so bad that they decided to scrap the project for a part 2. So to be quite honest with everybody, yeah, they still featured it in Godzilla Final Wars. As a matter of fact, when they awaken Godzilla from Antarctica, and then he chases the Gotengo, which is like a ship that's used like a hover ship, kind of like looks like a submarine hover ship with a drill in the front. But anyways, when it chases it gives chase because it thinks it's still in its battle with the Gotengo. It ends up first reaching the shores of Australia, Sydney, Australia, by the Sydney Opera House, and that's where Zilla, who is the American Godzilla from Godzilla 2000, makes his appearance there, where Godzilla defeats him in 3 seconds. Tail swaps him in midair, and then Atomic Breath kills him. So I mean, movies tend to kind of do that. That's where I'm really going with that. Movies tend to do that. Yeah. Let's get to some of this. In Jeepers Creepers, will Trish Jenner character get written out of the script? I want to see her gaining revenge. I do too. I really do too. But I don't think they're gonna go that route. This is like completely different director. So Victor Salva is not on the project at all. Thanks to what happened 2017 when they were trying to release Jeepers Creepers 3 and everyone wanted to boycott the film because of what he was charged with back in 1988. To avoid the fiasco of that, he gave up the rights to it. So Victor Salva has nothing to do with this, much less he didn't even write an aspect of the story. They may have, used him for reference to kind of gain an idea of where he wanted to go with Jeepers Creepers. So that way they can kind of fulfill that. It depends on how cool they are about that. But more than anything, I'm thinking they're just going to completely like rewrite it. Apparently, it's supposed to be much more darker and creepier, as it has those who worked on the project of the movie Devil's Rejects involved in this. So they're going to try to make this more of kind of like that kind of gory Rob Zombie-ish type effect of a horror movie than what it previously was. Which, Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, and 3, it was creepy. It wasn't like full out scary, but it did kind of spook you a little bit. But I think the biggest question when it came to Jeepers Creepers was, what is the creeper? I mean, you can look at on YouTube and you can get like kind of like a backstory to the creeper, and like, he's been around ancient times. He's been around during the days of the Mayans, and he was worshipped like a god. They have spin-off little kind of context about that in the comic book Jeepers Creepers. But yeah. Hey, bro. Hey, what's up, my daily side? What's going on, man? Thanks for coming in. I can't see myself enjoying the film if she's written out of the script. Would be pointless. Yeah. We'll just have to see. Shame they would have kept the characters though. Who knows? So who knows where they're gonna go with this? So this is a complete reboot. It sounds like it is. It doesn't sound appealing to me now, to be honest. If that's the route they're taking. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, I'm gonna give it a shot. Okay, it's supposed to drop fall 2021. They've already filmed it. They're already basically pretty much filmed it. It's just in post-production right now. So it's going through all the edits that it needs, CGI special effects, all that stuff that they got to do. Of course, scoring the film, with the sound effects and music and stuff like that to emphasize certain things, certain aspects of the movie. I think the setting in Louisiana is going to be a good touch, because I've been through Louisiana. I know how spooky the state can be. No offense to anyone that lives in Louisiana, but I'm just saying, the more southern area of Louisiana, it gets spooky at night when you kind of like when you drive through there. I mean, even like one of my favorite suspense movies, I don't call it a horror movie, I call it suspense, but The Skeleton Key, which is supposedly based on a true story, that was actually, in Louisiana. You know what I mean? Like, Louisiana has a lot of belief in hoodoo. And if you guys don't know what that is, so a lot of people think like voodoo is black magic, and voodoo is actually not. From what I've learned from people in Louisiana, voodoo is actually like a religion, and hoodoo is black magic type stuff. That's what I've been told. I could be wrong. Gene with a $2 super chat, super sticker. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. Hey, Oscar, what's going on? The creeper is a ghoul. Hey. I mean, right now, we won't even actually know, unless Victor Salva decides to break his silence and maybe he does something like, he puts out there like where he would have gone with the movie, then we would have some sort of answers. And I'm hoping Victor Salva does at least give us what we wanted to know. We patiently waited for a third installment. We watched the first and second one. I think those who are fans of the Creeper deserve Victor Salva's point of view. What is the creeper? What was it that woman saw when she grabbed the creeper's original hand? What was it that sheriff who grabbed the creeper's hand, what did he see? That's what we want to know. What did they see? Where does it come from? Because, a lot of analysis of the creeper pretty much states that the actual true being of the creeper is like that claw web thing on the back of his head that literally... it's like that, and probably like certain areas attached to the actual like torso body is probably its main origin, because like when he had that javelin spear pierced through his head, taking out one of his eyes, and he ripped it out, giving like a part of his a piece of his head ripped out, right? He ended up getting that one dude's head when he trapped him in his wing and cut the head off, and it fed through the lower body, or through the wings actually, into the torso and then up through the neck, where then that little thing kind of like latched on and then immediately transformed the face. So, I mean, those are some of the things that we do have to kind of think about here. Let's see, catch up with these comments here. Hey guys, what's up? Hey, Deadly Salvation, what's going on? Gene says what's up to MDS. Yeah, let's it was hard being a fan of this series with Salve as a director. I can separate him from the films, but now that he's gone, I think this series can finally move on and get much better. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, hopefully they don't screw the pooch on this. All I know is that there's a lot of positive feedback for this, only because they're kind of giving it the cosmetic touch like they did with the Devil's Rejects. And we all know how freaking psychotic the Devil's Rejects movies was. Rob Zombie in general just has this very dark thing. But I mean, Rob Zombie has always been that way. I don't know if anyone ever really actually listened to his music when originally he was in the band White Zombie before he kind of did his own solo album. But I used to listen to his music, and I had, a couple of albums from White Zombie. I also did get his solo album, and the solo album came, the little booklet that came with the CD, if you guys remember those, had some like nice drawings and stuff like that, but also kind of like painted a little like a comic, like a dark comic tale, like a horror comic tale of like him and the band members. It was insane, but you can really see Rob Zombie's point of view. Like, he has a mind for this, but he's not on the project. But those that work with him on the Devil's Rejects is actually kind of bringing that aspect to Jeepers Creepers Reborn. So what I'm kind of hoping for is maybe they will make some sort of reference to the first 3 movies as far as like what goes on. Not really, like, if they try to do something completely stupid where they try to annihilate the past 3 movies, that's going to be kind of hard for Creeper fans because we know about those 3 movies. So trying to like not acknowledge it and just act like that this is the starting point of it, that's where it's going to be kind of weird. Yeah, let's catch up with this. 185 Bell says, never enjoyed the Devil's Rejects. Overhyped, and the constant gore made it look like a cheap B movie. Really? I don't know. To me, I thought it was actually pretty okay. Like House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects and all that. I thought it had a nice spin onto it, especially like the thrilling and chilling points of the movie. Really just kind of brought that aspect out. I think where you're going with it being like a cheap like a B-side movie. I think that's kind of really where they were kind of going with it. To kind of try to give it that realization, like a documentary style type into it versus it just being like an actual horror movie. You know what I mean? Let's see, what are some of your favorite horror movies? Okay, so they're probably going to be like off the wall and random, totally random. So I am a huge fan of the Halloween series with Michael Myers. Both the original, like John Carpenter's version, and also Rob Zombie's version, I thought was actually pretty good too. I was really skeptical about Rob Zombie's version, but I kind of like how he made Michael more human and psychotic than like a dark entity type thing that John Carpenter painted him as. After the first 3 Halloween movies, it just kind of went more of like I don't know how to put it, but you guys know where I'm going with this. It left what we would consider to be like, okay, that's more realistic, to like more of this, like that's something that you would read in like like a witch's book of what happens to like a soul. Like, yeah, supernatural. Thank you, supernatural. Yeah. When it started to go to that, I mean, I kind of lost it. When they started bringing in the druids with John Carpenter's Halloween, when they brought in the druids and they started referencing the thorn, the tattoo that's on his wrist, and how it's supposedly that's why he keeps coming back on Halloween night, because it's the only night that the thorn constellation appears in the sky. It was just like, okay, they kind of lost me there, But I mean, yeah, Rob Zombie's version, they really just made him more of a psycho, but still alive. I mean, sometimes when you detach yourself from your when you bury yourself within your psyche, something that would normally stop a human, like getting shot in the head, probably won't stop somebody who's like living inside their head and not not bound by the rules of reality that we are. But yeah, Halloween is one of them. Jeepers Creepers is another one too. I did like, well, I not did, but I do like the Annabelle slash Conjuring series, like with the Warrens. As a matter of fact, I am still trying to go see the Warrens Museum. My lady doesn't want to go with me. My brother says he'll go, but lately he's been more focused on his girlfriend, so we don't really talk or hang out as much as we used to. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen, if I'm ever going to get a chance to go, but I might just end up going by myself. No, if I go to the Warrens Museum, I'm not touching any of the artifacts that's in that museum. I already know what's happening with that, so I'm not going to go and touch the coin that apparently has the ferryman, the ferryman's spirit attached to it, or conduit is what it is. I'm not gonna tell. Obviously, someone told me that they've been to that museum and the Annabelle doll's missing, so I don't even know. Maybe one day I'll do like a live, like a show talking about that, like the Warrens Museum, and kind of like going a little bit over that. If you guys actually want to see that, let me know. Just tell me in the chat in the comments. Definitely, I'll do one on that. I'll go with you. Really, Child's Play original too. I'm a fan of Child's Play. I don't like the reboot. But I mean, I get it with the reboot. They're gonna try to make it modern. You know what I mean? But that's not how it really goes. So my kids are a fan of Child's Play, the reboot. And you know what? Like I don't try to be a Donnie Downer where I'm like raining on their parade because like they're like, oh yeah, Chucky is creepy and it's because of this and that. And I gotta be like, no, it's because Charles put his soul into a doll. It's just like, you're a fan of Jeepers Creepers. All right, nice. Reboot was trash. Yeah, some things that they reboot, I'm just like, why did they even do it? You know what I mean? But I feel like Hollywood has run out of ideas, and this is why they're just taking like what we consider to be classics and rebooting them. Because even there's some movies that like I really like, and then my dad will be like, "Oh yeah, that's a reboot from something that I watched, back in the late 50s, early 60s." As my dad was born in the 50s, and yeah, so like what I call an original, he calls a reboot. And so yeah, generations, right? You're waiting for Antlers. Looks good. That's going to be interesting. Definitely going to look into that. Definitely. Yeah, so I don't know where we're going with Jeepers Creepers. I just want something from Victor Salva. So like not from the new producers and the directors, but something from Victor Salva that tells us this is where I was going with it. This is what the creeper, like its origins come from. And I'll be a happy camper. Like continue on with the reboot, with Jeepers Creepers Reborn, and I'm gonna give it its fair shot. I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm gonna give it a fair chance. But I also want to know, and I want to know, if she gets her revenge for him taking her brother, does she link up with Jack Jr. and they go after the creeper together? How does it play out? Does do they get information from the old lady who ran the farm, whose son was killed by the creeper because the night he was driving down the highway and the creeper's hand and the machete fell on his truck, and then he later on died later when he buried the hand and hid it. So yeah, because I mean at the end of Jeepers Creepers 3, all we got was she put a sign where the hand was, and it says we know what you are, and then he just kind of like has like that odd roar scream at the end. But I mean, nobody got to see. And that's what we want to know is, where does the creeper come from? And what is the significance to the handle of the knife that Jack Jr. and Jack has? I don't know if you guys remember in Jeepers Creepers 2, but one of the when they were combing the cornfield trying to find evidence of what happened to Billy, the dog and Jack Jr., they find one of the creeper's weapons, a knife, obviously made out of human bone, so it's carved up, and then it has the blade on it. And obviously the thing, when you hold it a certain way, it's easy to flick and for it to actually dart across, right? So it requires minimal effort for you to actually maneuver that knife like a throwing knife and being able to hit your target. And when they looked at the handle, it had a carving into it. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find like an image of it. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Okay. Maybe Google will be smart enough to know what I'm talking about here, because I'm just punching in as a phrase. And let's see. There it is. Okay. So stop on that. We'll screen share. Okay. So now you guys will know what I'm talking about here. Let me just kind of make this full screen. All right. So yeah. No. Go back. Well, okay. There. That's probably better. But do you see how, like, it shows like right around here, kind of just like shows like this monster sting. It's going after a man. You have the sun in the background. Obviously, that, I guess that represents like growth of like green. So maybe like, representing spring. Maybe this plays into it. And you also see right here, you got like the skull with the tongue sticking out. You got the jagged teeth, the eyes, the nose, right? Like this blade was a clue from the creeper that kind of gave some insight to I guess like his history. Not entirely sure. All I know is this. I am going to be very interested in watching this. I just want to know, are we going to get some sort of answer to what the creeper was based on Victor Salva's point of view? And yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this quick live. I'm gonna jam out of here. Trying to make it through this entire podcast or whatever. So, and but oh yeah, and an update to everybody else. I went ahead and did a second test, so now I'm waiting for the results. I know I told you guys before that I tested for the the virus, and my results came back negative, so that was good. But someone very close to me actually caught it. So I'm kind of sketchy about those results. So I retested again, and I'm waiting for the results to come back. Symptoms that I've been feeling over the last couple of days, kind of feverish, a little bit here and there. Not a really bad cough. I haven't lost my sense of smell entirely, and my taste is still intact. So those are all good signs, I guess you can say. But as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. But today I've just been feeling like crap. So I'm probably going to go back to bed and get some more rest after I take some Tylenol cold flu, just, try to help. So I do appreciate everyone who came in to hang out with me. Thank you very much. I'm going to go over Jeepers Creepers 1, 2, and 3 and Reborn this Sunday. And probably special guest Technoid will join me on there. I got to work the details out with him. But I will definitely let everybody know. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I'll definitely tweet a few days in advance before I do the live stream on Sunday. So keep it locked in. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thanks again, Gene, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. To everybody else that came in too, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and select all so you'll be notified anytime that I do live. Also, just real quick, I installed Steam on my Chromebook. I'm probably going to do a video explaining how I did that, using a Linux beta on Chrome OS, being able to get Steam on here. And the reason why I got Steam on here is because besides doing gameplay of on Google Stadia games, I'm also going to be playing some games that's on Steam. I'm going to try to work this out to see how I can do this and live stream gameplay. So all that's coming up as I'm working on things. But again, thank you, everybody. You hope I don't have it. I hope I don't either, but I don't know, man. I'll try to be safe. You guys take it easy. Have a great night. As always, peace.